I want to read something real quick. Record not even the gamepad. They say using it gets 25 instead of 8. Oh wow. Yeah, that would be huge for Zelda. That's a lot of space. 25 gigabytes. I mean, we'll see though. I mean, that's it's a really expensive game. But anyway, moving back on, we're going to move on to the next article here. If you live in Europe, you get a 30% discount. If you buy Pikmin 3, you get a 30% discount on the Wonderful 101. So that's really, really cool. So buy Pikmin 3 digitally, get 30% off the Wonderful 101 in Europe. So if you live in Europe, make sure you take advantage of that deal because Pikmin 3 is awesome and the Wonderful 101 needs sales. So Hideki Kamiya wants to make a sequel to the game, and if it sells well, we'll get a nice sequel. Okay, next article. Earthbound has finally hit the Wii U Virtual Console. Earthbound, it was like stealth. Nintendo announced a stealth Nintendo Direct Mini out of nowhere, and Earthbound's on the Wii U. Of course, if you go on Playeressence.com, you can check out the trailer, and there's already people uploading gameplay. I haven't been able to pick it up yet because I haven't had the time to. But yeah, Earthbound, awesome. And I know that game never released in Europe, so Europeans for the first time can, without an emulator or anything like that, can pick up Earthbound. So that's really, really cool. All right, next, Nintendo has trademarked drive-by. It was a drive-by direct. It was stealth. It was just there. Then discovered your site. He says, "Oh, nice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Who's that? Dylan Wins. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming to the site. I really appreciate it. And I like the fact that it's your main site now. But if everybody made it their main site, the world would be so much happier. All right, so we're moving on. Big news, you Fire Emblem fans, which is me included. Fire Emblem has been trademarked. Nintendo has trademarked two things pertaining to Fire Emblem. They've trademarked Fire Emblem, quotation, and they've trademarked emblem in all capitals. Nintendo has been talking about Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei, and they've been talking about Fire Emblem in general. So they said that Fire Emblem needs at least 700,000 sales numbers, so they need to sell 700,000 units for it to be worth it. And they talked about how Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem might feature some type of time travel thing, and it could be set in a modern day. So Nintendo's been a little open with Fire Emblem, and if it comes to the Wii U, I'm telling you, Fire Emblem could come to the Wii U in 2015. That's what I'm thinking. It would be 2015 that a Fire Emblem game would come. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem 2014, which also goes into my strategy as far as what Nintendo's doing with this year, 2013, and next year with 2014 and 2015. So we'll talk about that a little bit later as far as our strategy goes. Because Nintendo didn't mess up when it comes to their strategy. I think the way that they positioned themselves was a little weird, but I think that they're recovering nicely, and like I said, which I will talk about later. So next, we're going to move on to the next article. Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies got an M rating by the ESRB, and I was like, an M rating for a detective game? Look, I understand that there's murders in the game, there's killing, there's blood, but you're not actually doing any of those things. Like, you're not doing those things. Like, Uncharted is rated T for teen. Infamous is rated T, and like, you're massively killing hordes of enemies. If anything, Phoenix Wright should be rated T because you're a crime fighter. You're solving crime. You know, like you're out there. You're a detective. You're the good guy. You're up there. You know what I'm saying? You're not killing anybody. You're in the ESRB is being ridiculous because now teenagers, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds can't go buy this game. And if anything, it would help them with law. It would help them, like detect like certain things, like, put together like solve puzzles and clues. You know what I'm saying? It's so stupid that you would give this type of game an M rating to where you have to be 17 years old to purchase this game. That's ridiculous. Like, my daughter, when she turns 12, I would let her play Phoenix Wright. That's so dumb. The problem with the ESRB is that they take things too literal. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there's blood. Yes, you're looking at blood. Yes, you're analyzing, murder weapons, things like that. But that's real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people want to become a lawyer. You want to become a detective. You know what I'm saying? You can expose that to your kids at an earlier point. So, I mean, it's so stupid. Yeah, I do have a daughter. I do. If you go to one of my, I have a video that I did before this, my testing phase. It's untitled. After this, you can watch it. You actually get a chance to see her. I bring her up, and anybody who was in for my testing phase that I did it like around 9 o'clock, they saw my daughter. Oh, sorry about my phone. My phone is ringing. What's this? Text message. Okay, I can wait. So yeah. I hate the fact that Phoenix Wright was rated M, but you know what, whatever. That's going to hurt the sales a little bit of that game. Excuse me. Next, we're going to move on to Hideki Kamiya. Hideki Kamiya says that he might direct Bayonetta 3 if Bayonetta 2 sells well. So, Bayonetta 2 needs to sell. We all know this. Bayonetta 2 needs to sell. I don't care if you didn't play the first one. I don't care if you don't like Bayonetta, go out and buy the game. Buy the game, buy the game, buy the game. Oh my gosh. No, Phoenix Wright, it should get a box copy as well. Bayonetta 2. If you haven't seen, go on Playeressence.com. If you haven't seen the trailers, if you haven't seen the gameplay videos, 1080p, 60 frames per second. I'm pretty sure it's 720p then upscaled, but still 1080p, 60 frames per second, co-op, gamepad only play, off TV play, the most innovative combat system since the original Devil May Cry on the PS2. Dodge offset for those who are in depth with the Bayonetta knows about dodge offset. Witch time, items. Bayonetta has a new lashing whip that she uses. I mean, it's got to be a day one buy. It's a day one buy, and here's the thing about Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 doesn't need to sell 2 million copies to be successful. It doesn't even need to sell, I would say it doesn't even need to sell like 1.5 million copies. If Bayonetta 2 can reach about 1 million copies sold, because it's a Wii U exclusive, if it can reach 1 million copies sold, and it can reach that within its first year, that's going to be successful. That's going to be a successful because it's on one system. You know what I'm saying? Nintendo's prices of games don't drop as fast as Xbox 360 and PS3 games did, because a lot of people who purchased Bayonetta on the Xbox 360 and PS3, they bought it discounted. They didn't buy it at a full $60 because it was a new IP. People weren't sure about it. The PS3 version was botched, okay? The PS3 version was botched by the people who handled that. Platinum Games didn't handle the port for the PS3 version. They just did the 360 version, so that's why the 360 version was a lot better. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. So Bayonetta 2, they're focusing just on the Wii U version. Platinum Games can focus on there. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be good. The reviews are probably going to come out really good. It's probably going to be the best action game of all time. It's going to top the original Bayonetta. The best. And when I say action game, I don't include games like Uncharted. That's a freaking shooter. That's a third-person shooter. I'm talking about, when I say action game, I'm talking about games like Ninja Gaiden, God of War, Devil May Cry, like The Wonderful 101. I'm talking about games like that. You know what I'm saying? We usually have like weapons, like swords and stuff like that. And like you're hitting people up into the air. That type of action. That's what I mean when I say action game. Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. Those are the type of games I'm talking about. So I mean, I know some people like action game, they think of like Infamous and stuff like that. No, those are third-person shooters. So yeah. But anyway. So yeah, please go out there and buy Bayonetta. I'll be doing a ton of stuff on the game. I'll be doing my top 5 reasons to buy Bayonetta 2 back, when it's more relevant. So go out there and buy Bayonetta 2. And buy Wonderful 101 while you're at it. Okay. So we're going to move on next. We're kind of humming through this here. Definitely we're going to have a Q&A section as well. So get your questions ready, guys. Okay. Shinin, or I don't know how to say them. It's either Shinin or Shunin. I mean, I'm not really sure. But oh hell yeah, Bayonetta 2 will sell better than the DMC reboot. Nobody even wanted the DMC reboot. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted that game. I mean, I purchased it. I bought it on the PC because the PC was in 60 frames per second. but nobody wanted them on the PS3 and 360, and it pretty much kind of bombed. It kind of the problem that Capcom was going through is because they're catering to the PS3 and 360 crowd. Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, two of their highest profile titles, both Nick bombed. And if they would have put Dragon's Dogma on the Wii U, that would have sold as well as Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. They could have made more profit. But you know what? Hey, whatever with Capcom. If you guys want to have a segment on Capcom and my rage on them, please let me know. If you guys want me to rage on Capcom in this at the end here, I can do that before we do Q&A. So let me get some yes or no's. You guys want me to rage on Capcom or no? Yes. There's one yes. Rage on Capcom. There's two. Sure. Yes. Okay. It's going to happen. I'll do that at the end before the Q&A. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Okay. So now we're going to move on to Shut-In. They basically discussed the Wii U's ED-RAM section and why it's actually easy to program for the Wii U. And I have to agree. I mean, it is easy to program to the Wii U. They said it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have said it's easy. Ports can be easily put over to the Wii U. We saw all sorts of third-party companies porting games in a very short amount of time. Need for Speed was ported very short amount of time. Even games like Mass Effect, I mean, some of them were GIMP ports, but they got them up and running in a very quick time for launch. So it is easy to develop for the Wii U. Right now, third-party developers just don't want to, but Shine-In has basically said that the ED-RAM makes it more powerful than the Xbox 360 and the PS3 because you can take advantage of that and you can render your games in 1080p and get them running in fast frame rate, 60 frames per second, very quickly. You know, and Shine-In's been basically giving lessons to other developers. I've been talking to other developers about it. So yeah, they can code. They can code for the Wii U. It's not a problem. And Shine-In is not the biggest studio out there. You know, they're not the biggest studio out there. But the fact that they put out a game like Nano Assault that has a lot of things going on, you know, it's not just a simple, like a super simple game like Super Meat Boy or something like that. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in some of the later levels in Nano Assault. The fact that they can put that game out there and it looks better than Madden and it looks better than a lot of games out there on the market, you know, full retail games, that's impressive. Nano Assault is gorgeous. And, you know, if they had more time, they probably could have got it in 1080p, you know. But they decided, you know, you need to get the game out there, have it for launch, so let's go ahead and put it at 720p, 60 frames per second, you know. So Shine knows what they're doing. And they also talked about, Shine also discussed, going on to the next article here, they're going to reveal their new Wii U projects this fall. So there's two games that they're working on the Wii U. Now, I like Shine-In's games. I think that they're good, but I would really like Shine-In to make some type of like RPG or some type of adventure game, something like that. I know Jet Rocket is cool. I think it's a cool game, but I really like them to make something a little bit different tone than Jet Rocket. Maybe something where you're carrying, something where you're carrying a sword and like the, you know, and like you get like stat boosts and upgrades, something like that, something with a little bit more in depth than what they usually. Yeah, like a 2D Metroid type of game, something like that. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so that's Shine-In. They have two Wii U projects coming. They know how to use the ED-RAM section. Go out there and support Shine-In's games because they make some awesome games. Manfred Linzer, I don't know exactly how to say his name. He's an amazing developer, and those guys need all the support they can get. I actually purchased Nano Assault on when they had their sale, the Wii U eShop sale, and I've been having a ton of fun. I beat the single player mode where you go through the regular. Now I'm working my way through the challenge modes and survival mode. So it's actually really cool. I just play before I go to sleep. I'll play a little bit, but I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 4 so much. So yeah, I haven't been playing Nano Assault as much, but it's still a great game. Okay, so that basically wraps up the Nintendo News Desk. That is all the best news from Nintendo. And now we're going to get into some big discussions. Some big discussions here, guys. Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 sold, some people are actually reporting it actually sold more than the Media Create charts gave it. David Gibson reported that it actually sold 102K. So 102,000. So yeah, exactly, JC. Adam Sessler exposed. It sold 102, K, not counting digital sales in Japan. Not counting digital sales, it sold 102K in 2 days. And the Wii U sales in Japan, which you have to remember, consoles don't sell as much as portables. The Wii U sales went up from about 8,200 all the way up to about 22,000. Content. I hate all of these trolls that act like the Wii U is done when there's no games coming out for it. The same thing happened with the PS3. The only reason why the PS3 succeeded is because publishers and developers, you know what I'm saying, they want Sony to be around. They want them. A lot of developers and publishers don't care if Nintendo goes by the wayside, so they won't develop them. But publishers and developers want Sony to be around because Sony's first-party games don't even sell the most to their own fan base. Third-party games sell better than Sony's first-party games. So third-party developers have no problem, you know what I'm saying, continuing to support something like the PlayStation 3. They continue to support it and support it and support it no matter how bad the sales were. Now, Pikmin 3 getting that sales bump in Japan was huge. And I'll say why it's huge. It's huge because it proves that if Nintendo brings out content, sales can go up. And we all know Pikmin 3, or Pikmin in general, the franchise Pikmin, is not one of Japan's biggest franchises. Pikmin, the original Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 did not sell a lot in Japan. It wasn't a huge franchise. Pikmin is not Nintendo's biggest game. Miyamoto made this game just because he's really passionate about the game and the gameplay and the style of, of gaming there. So that's the reason why this game was made in the first place. We might not get another Pikmin game. Who knows? Or it might not be made by Miyamoto. We don't know, but we just know that he put everything that he had into this game. So first-party games always sell, And yeah, you know what? To tell the truth, Shadow Kirby, Pikmin 1 and 2 sold better in America than it did in Japan. So yeah, I definitely think Pikmin's going to sell more here in Japan. More here in Japan. Pikmin's going to sell more here in America, in the U.S., than it is in Japan. I definitely think that's going to happen. I'm actually going to head over to GameStop after this recording, and I'm going to try out Pikmin 3 myself at the GameStop locations here. So I definitely think Pikmin is going to sell better here in America. So we'll see. I think Wii U sales, this is just the start though. A lot of trolls, and here's one thing to counter the trolls, because I know a lot of you guys are talking about all the trolls and stuff like that. Pikmin is not Nintendo's biggest franchise. The fact that sales are going up based on Pikmin, and it almost tripled, do it the first impression. I will do a first impression video on Pikmin. The fact that the sales almost tripled is fantastic. That is so good because we know when Super Mario 3D World comes out, what's going to happen to the sales. Super Mario 3D Land is around 8.5 million sold worldwide without digital sales. What happens when Super Mario 3D World comes out? How will the sales go in Japan then? What happens when Wii Fit U, which is huge in Japan, it's actually huge around the whole world. What happens when Wii Fit U comes out and Nintendo starts putting those ads on OWN and on like the Ellen Show, and they start putting ads out there like on Cartoon Network, where parents are maybe watching with their kids. I mean, what happens when Nintendo puts those games out? What happens? Look, like I told all the trolls. Oh my God, I told them that Donkey Kong Country is a system seller. People laughed at me. I even had Shokyo. Even Shokyo was like, no, Donkey Kong isn't really, I don't think it's a system seller. And he even questioned my sales numbers when I talked about it. You look at the sales of Donkey Kong Country. You look at this Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. You look at the sales on the 3DS for a 3-year-old Wii port. Donkey Kong Country has been boosting the sales of the 3DS in Japan, Europe, and the US. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D is top on the MPD charts. It's one of the top. It's in the top 10. It's in the top 10, and it's helped boost the 3DS along with Luigi's Mansion, along with Animal Crossing, to become the best-selling device in the world. Exactly, Ricard, you said it right. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D helped break the streak of the Xbox 360 being the best-selling gaming device in the United States. A 3-year-old Wii port. A 3-year-old Wii port. Look, yeah, Shokyo is a little upset that it's not Metroid, because Shokyo does like Metroid more than Donkey Kong. He's not a huge Donkey Kong fan. But I'll tell you guys something right now, which this is kind of going off a little bit, but I'll tell you guys something right now. Whenever I talk about something, like whenever I talk about a game or something like that, I look at it from both sides. I look at it from this business side, and I look at it from my own gamer side. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I super excited for Wii Fit U? No, I'm not super excited for Wii Fit U. But does that mean I discredit it like a lot of gamers do? No, I bring it up. I bring up Wii Fit U. I bring up because people say, oh, Wii Fit U, that's nothing. I'll be like, no, Wii Fit U outsold every single PlayStation 3, pretty much every single PlayStation 3 exclusive, almost combined. I mean, if you take out Gran Turismo, I mean, you can add up the sales for Uncharted 1, 2, 3, Killzone, Infamous. You can add up the sales for damn near every single PlayStation 3 exclusive, and Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus outsold them. Wii Fit is over 40 million units worldwide. Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus. You can't discredit that. I'm sorry. I don't care if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I talk about something, whenever I talk about sales, or whenever I talk about the Wii U, I'll bring up Wii Fit U. I'll bring up Wii Party. I'll bring up those games because you need those games. Every system needs those games. Sony let Nintendo have basically the casual market and decided we're going to go after the bro-core dudes and the Xbox 360 fans. Okay, fine. You're never going to have a system that sells as much as the PS2 ever again, because the PS2 had content like Wii Fit on there. They actually had some stuff that was like that, and they decided to give that all up. Now Sony doesn't make any more money. Sony's gaming division hasn't made significant money since the PS2 days. Whatever. Oh, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Yes, that's another game that I've actually been leaving out. That game sold like crazy on the Wii. You know you're going to have kids, you know you're going to have parents that see that commercial on Cartoon Network and say, Mom, I want that game. They might not know what a Wii U is, or they might think that's an extension to the Wii, but as soon as they go there to the store, to Walmart, and say, I want Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on the Wii U, give me that on the Wii U, they're going to know what it is and they're going to buy it. So, I mean, yes. Yes, those games are definitely important. They're definitely important. So, this is a good sign. Going back to the original point, Pikmin 3 is a good sign. It is a great sign. Pikmin 3 is of sales to come. You know, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Am I so excited about that? Now, the 3D rotating cameras that they have in there, the underwater segments, the fact that they brought back Dixie Kong. Oh my gosh, this game is going to be so fun. And I'm telling you, Nintendo could have easily released like Wii Party U or whatever in November. But look, Nintendo has big plans for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Why would they give it one of the biggest months by itself? They gave November just to Donkey Kong. Black Friday, basically. They said that's how confident Nintendo is that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is going to sell. Because if you look at all the other months, for the most part, like the holiday months, Nintendo has multiple games. Nintendo has multiple games, like October, December. Those all have multiple games in there. But November, Nintendo says, just Donkey Kong. Because I'm telling you, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is going to sell so well. It is going to push so many units because that game is going to sell worldwide. You see what Nintendo did. A lot of people were upset that Nintendo decided to port Donkey Kong Country 3D on the 3DS, but no, that's a primer. That's a primer to get people ready. You know what I'm saying? To get people ready. Okay, so I do want to talk about something that people are bringing up. The Wonderful 101 being released in the same month as Grand Theft Auto. It doesn't matter because here in the U.S. it's released on the same month, but in Japan and in Europe it's not released in the same month. It's an entirely different market. And I know, Ricard. I know. It's an entirely different market. If you have a Wii U, you're not going to be like, Grand Theft Auto's coming out. Grand Theft Auto, I got to go out there and not buy Wonderful 101. You're not going to do that. You're going to be like, okay, if you want Grand Theft Auto, we're going to go get Grand Theft Auto. If you want the Wonderful 101, you're going to get the Wonderful 101. Most people are going to buy both if they want both. Personally, me, I'm not interested that much in Grand Theft Auto. I'll get it, but I'm going to get it when it's discounted. I'm going to get it when it's in the bargain bin. Because I remember I bought GTA 4 brand new, and like 3 or 4 months later, it was like $30. I already know Wonderful 101 isn't getting a price drop anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took months and months and months and months for like Monster Hunter to get a price drop. And Monster Hunter still doesn't even have an official price drop yet. You know? So, exactly. I know, I might get it on PC when there's a Steam sale as well. So, I mean, because I know they'll port it to PC. I mean, and I'll just get it on there. I'm not going to go out and buy it with day one. I mean, I'm going to be playing Pikmin. I'm going to be playing the Wonderful 101. I'm going to be playing other stuff. So the Wonderful 101 sales will not be affected. I know Black Bomb has been saying that the Wonderful 101 sales are going to be destroyed by GTA, but no, different markets, different type of people. The Pikmin, the Wonderful 101 is going to be marketed like on Cartoon Network and stuff like that. Parents are going to go pick it up for the kids. So yeah. So now I want to get into Nintendo's strategy for 2013 and 2014. Some people have been upset with the amount of game, like the type of games that they have. But here's the strategy. Nintendo, when they first announced the Wii U, they wanted it to be the system to where you can play core games on there. So games that come out on the 360 and PS3, you can get those on Wii U as well, you know. And Nintendo tried to cater to the other market, you know, so like more the casual type and the common gamers with Nintendo Land and New Super Mario Bros., which they've had success with those two games, you know. They were banking on more third-party support. They were banking on getting games from EA, which they did get some support from them at the beginning, but they were all GIMP ports. They were banking on getting more. They were banking on Rayman Legends. They were banking on Deus Ex. You know, they were banking on those types of games to help get them through till their games come out. Wii U Phase 2, as RPX says, in 2013, the big goal for Nintendo is to expand the user base. Expand it with casual and core games. So, I mean, both. So basically, games where both can play. Like Mario is a game where casuals and core gamers can play it. If you look at Nintendo's lineup, none of the games, like a lot of people that are like the hardcore fans or people who are into other types of genres, you know, mature rated games like Assassin's Creed, they're not really happy with the Nintendo's lineup. But Nintendo's lineup this year for 2013 is to try to expand the base as much as they can. Getting games like Pikmin 3, games that kids can buy, that parents will buy, teenagers can buy. Anybody can go to the store and buy the game. Pikmin 3, The Wonderful 101, Donkey Kong, Wii Party U, Wii Fit, Super Mario 3, Super Mario, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Sonic Lost World. All of those games are all games that can just expand the audience. They all sell, have good sales as far as Donkey Kong. We Fit You, We Party You. Those games are games that you know they're going to sell and that can expand the base. That's the goal for 2013. Is expanding the huge base. Like, it's trying to expand the Wii U's fan base as much as they can, sell as many units as they can. So that's their goal. Catering to the casual crowd as well, which they didn't do as much in 2012 with their lineup. But 2013 is all about expanding the base, catering to both audiences, catering to the audience that's basically going to buy those games no matter what. Now, 2014 is more of going back to their 2012 strategy, not necessarily with getting ports, but getting the games where core gamers or mature gamers, whatever, are going to pick up a Wii U. So that's why you have games like Bayonetta 2 in 2014. That's why you have games like Monolith Soft's X. You know, that's why you're probably going to get Shin Megami Tensei, cross Fire Emblem in 2014. That's why you're going to get Smash Bros. In 2014. Those are all games that the core fan base, like as far as like the hardcore gamers, that the core gamers get really excited about. They might not sell as much as the games in 2013, with the exception of like Smash Bros. And like Mario Kart, But like Bayonetta, Fire Emblem, Monolith Soft's X, those games probably aren't going to sell as much as Super Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, and We Fit You. So 2014 is basically back to the hardcore strategy, yet still expanding the base at the same time. So they have the core and they have those expanded base. Whereas 2013 is more about getting everybody involved. Where it's maximize sales, which is fine because the games that they're bringing out are awesome. The games that they're bringing out are so cool. I am actually so stoked. For Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I've talked about that game a lot, but holy crap, I'm really, really excited for that game. Like, it might be my most anticipated game, believe it or not. It might be my most anticipated game for 2013. It's looking so good. It's looking so smooth. Yeah. So I was not upset. Like, at first, I was like, oh no, no Metroid, oh no. But then when I thought, I was like, wait a minute. Metroid doesn't sell as much. Because like I said, I think about it from two things. Metroid doesn't sell as much. They can bring out Metroid in 2015 when the user base is bigger to help the sales of that game. They can bring out Metroid in 2015. Right now, they need Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong is going to expand the base more than Metroid is. You can bring out Metroid in 2015 or 2014, whatever. So that's the reason why. And here's the thing about comparing Metroid sales with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong on the 3DS, it's probably going to outsell Metroid Prime Corruption 3 and Metroid Prime or Metroid Other M. And Nintendo, look, I understand that. Look, I'm not trying to be a total tool or anything like that, or a fanboy or anything like that. But Nintendo needs to worry about sales. A lot of trolls like to bring up sales all the time, but then they get mad when Metroid isn't out yet. It's like, how are you going to bring up sales and you're mad about Nintendo's sales, but then when they make a business decision, get mad about that? No, you can't do both. You can't flip-flop back and forth. If you're worried about sales or if you comment on Nintendo's sales, you better address Nintendo's sales every single time when you think about things. Don't just be butthurt and pissed off, because there's no Metroid. No, you need to say, look, I understand, look, I want Metroid, but Donkey Kong sells more. And as you can see with Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, which probably won't get a price drop until like next year because it's selling so well, it's going to be $34.99 forever. You can see that Donkey Kong is expanding the 3DS base, and it's going to do the same thing for the Wii U. And if you go back to even to the Wii, I forgot how much exactly it sold, but Donkey Kong, when that was released on the Wii sales got that bump. So that's true. So and I think who said that? Ricard? No, Titan. Or somebody said that Donkey Kong can help fund Metroid. Exactly. It can help fund Metroid. So yep. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on. I think you guys got my idea as far as what I want, what Nintendo's strategy is. And I think that strategy is ingenious because they're going to expand the base. They're going to expand the base so big. From now, and you'll see it starting with Pikmin all the way to December, Nintendo's going to sell at least minimum 5 million units on the Wii. At least 5 million. That's minimum. That's being conservative. So we will see. Stay tuned. We're going to move on to my Capcom Rage section. Now, Capcom, they've made some good decisions, and they've made some really bad decisions. Let's go over the good first. Monster Hunter, exclusive to Nintendo systems. Good decision. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, good decision. Making a lot of money off of that game, off of a port. Okay, Dragon's Dogma, good decision, but no Wii U version. Dragon's Dogma, it's not like Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, but I think people who like Monster Hunter will probably like Dragon's Dogma. The fact that they haven't ported Dragon's Dogma to the Wii U is fail. Port the game over to the Wii U, put Dark Horizon on there, put it out for $60, and I guarantee you that will sell. The fact that they haven't done that, what? No, it's not, Ricard. Stop saying crazy stuff. Dragon's Dogma 2 isn't exclusive to the... Stop saying crazy stuff. The fact that that hasn't been on there, it pisses me off. It really does piss me off. Now we're going to move on to the really bad. Resident Evil 6. Oh my god! How do you mess up Resident Evil 6? How do you botch something? Why is the game so crappy? Like, I started playing Resident Evil 6, and I was playing... Here's the thing. I didn't think it was bad as everybody was saying it was, because I was playing Leon's campaign first. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And I beat Leon's campaign, and there were some problems in Leon's campaign. But I was like, okay, well, this is actually not bad. And then I played Chris Redfield's campaign. Boo! Boo! Boo, 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 boo. Horrible. The worst game ever. That campaign is so bad. That campaign is so bad. I'd rather play Call of Duty for the rest of my life than finish Resident Evil 6's campaign. And you guys know how much I hate Call of Duty. Resident Evil 6 campaign, the Resident Evil 6 Chris Redfield campaign is just atrocious. First of all, the controls, it's trying to be a shooter, and it's not a shooter. It doesn't control as good as a shooter. It doesn't control as good as other Uncharted. They are so bad. They are so bad. And in Chris Redfield's campaign, you're ducking behind cover and you're popping up and trying to shoot people and you're doing all this crap. It's horrible. Gotta get a drink of water. Sorry, excuse me. I have to eat something. I'm getting so mad. And when I get frustrated, I like to eat. Got some beef jerky here. It's so bad! What was Capcom thinking with Resident Evil 6? What were they thinking? Like a boss. camera does suck. Resident Evil 6 is horrible. They should have just sold Leon's campaign by itself for $20. Like an 8-hour campaign, just sell that for $20. Jake's campaign is horrible. They're just exploding and you're just running and you're just, wow, yeah, it turns into like a fire. You're just punching all over the place. It's horrible. Capcom, what happened to you guys? Fun fact about beef jerky, guys. It's a really good snack, and it's actually healthy for you. A lot of protein, and it's definitely better to snack on than like chips and other stuff like that. So next time you're in the mood for snacks, because I know a lot of you guys, like, I like to snack on like when I play games, especially like games like Shin Megami Tensei. Beef jerky. Oh no, you can get the lower sodium one. I have the lower sodium beef jerky. You can get the ones, just find the ones that have the lower sodium count. Okay. Can you bribe the low sodium beef jerky? I don't know. We'll find out. There's so many demons in the game. There might be something like that. I'm sorry. When I get mad, you guys don't see it like on my 3H Francis videos, but sometimes like if it cuts to a different scene, it's because I got so mad at them that I have to eat something in between like me filming it. So, because when I get mad, I like to eat. Okay. So, comfort eater, yeah, dude. When you have a daughter and you work, I have like 3 jobs. I run the website. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm getting another job. You gotta have to comfort food. You gotta eat. You gotta eat when you get mad. Otherwise, you're gonna be raging on people. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up all the news. We're gonna go ahead and get into me raging on Capcom. Is there anything else people wanted to talk, like anything else people wanted me to say on Capcom before we go? Am I missing anything on Capcom? Oh my god. People jerky? That would make so much money. Also, Street Fighter 4 sucks. Who cares? Strider. Is that? Oh, Strider! Ah! Ah! Strider! Ah! Capcom, you double helix garbage piece of crap. Strider, you Capcom, fix this. Capcom, if Strider doesn't come out for the Wii U, if Strider does not come out for the Wii U, if Strider is released on the Xbox One and not the Wii U, I might go on a Capcom ban. I might. No, I don't care that we're getting DuckTales. Look, I'm an old school fan. I played Strider back in the day. I even played the crappy NES one and thought it was cool. The RPG type of Strider game. Strider has no business being on the Xbox One. That has no business. The fact that Double Helix, that piece of crap studio Double Helix is making, even makes me more mad. And the fact that Double Helix said, oh, well, if there's demand for the game, we'll put it. Where's the demand for the Xbox One version of Strider? Who wanted Strider on the Xbox One? How do we even know that Strider, that Xbox One's, digital service is going to be as good as the Wii U's digital service, and it's going to sell as much? Because obviously by the time that Strider comes out, the Wii U is going to have more sales than the Xbox One. It's BS. It's BS that Strider's not on the Wii U. I'm going to go on a total. I'm not going to buy that game on the PS4, or on the PS3 or Xbox 360. Make a Wii U version, or I'm not buying it. Oh, the best place to buy beef jerky, by the way, is Costco. I got these 2 double bags for like $10. Big old huge bags. Anyway. Oh yeah. Strider will sell the best on Wii U. No coupon. No coupon at Costco. I got 2 big bags. No coupon. Cell phone. Double Helix. Oh yeah, I've beaten Fire Emblem. Heck yeah. Okay, so we're done with Capcom. Let's go ahead and let's move on to the cell phone confirmed for Smash. Cell phone confirmed for Smash Bros. Let's go ahead and move on to the Q&A section. We're going to do Q&A probably for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up here. Okay, so the first question, have I beat Fire Emblem Awakening? Yes, I beat Fire Emblem Awakening. I have beat the game completely. Thoroughly. I put like 120 hours into it. Wind Waker HD sales? Wind Waker HD probably sells around 700,000 units, maybe 800,000 units. Who did you marry? I haven't married anybody yet. I'm engaged. I'm joking. I married Sumiya. Yeah, I married Sumiya. Do you think Platinum Games should make Star Fox? Yes, Platinum Games should make Star Fox. Are you getting Pokemon Y physical or digital? I'm getting it physical and digital. I'm gonna get Pokemon X digital and Pokemon Y physical. Which Wii U game are you looking forward to the most this year? I'm looking forward to the most probably Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And the Wonderful 101. Both of those games. They're tied, almost. Will Big N make more GameCube ports HD? I don't think so. I think they're gonna have a virtual console service that has GameCube games in there. I don't think they're gonna port their HD, like port games on GameCube to HD. I think Zelda was basically just to keep Zelda fans calm, till the next big Zelda game comes out. What is Miyamoto's new IP? I have no clue. I'm hoping it's like an action-adventure game like Zelda, but something different. Which consoles I think will sell the most? Sell the best? Wii U, Xbox, or PS4? That's so hard, dude. I don't really know right now, but if I had to put my finger on it, like as far as most sales, because it's going to be out on the marketplace, I would probably say the PS4 is probably going to sell the most. But I think it's going to be close between the PS4 and Wii U. I really think it's going to be close. Okay, more community game management games that people actually own, like Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Yeah, I agree. I'll try. GTA 5 or Watch Dogs. Ugh. Sales-wise, GTA 5. As far as what I'm gonna be playing Watch Dogs. Yeah, we'll get GameCube games on the Virtual Console. Do you think Double Dash will feature? I like Mario Kart. I like Mario Kart 8 the way it is. It looks cool. Wii U peripheral ideas GameCube adapter. That probably won't happen because they want to sell their GameCube games, so they're probably not going to make a GameCube adapter. I don't know about Wii U peripherals though. I mean, I'm not really sure. Ouya or Steambox? Steambox. Sony fanboys treat the PS4 like it's some. Yeah, Sony fanboys do treat the PS4 like it's some type of god. They do. They are so hyped up. I mean, they're gonna be so upset when like 99% of the games are like ports, and like games like Killzone Shadowfall are the exact same thing, and that sucks. And the only game that actually looks somewhat interesting for me, from a first-party standpoint, for Sony, is Infamous Second Son. So, but that's still just a third-person shooter. Ouya or Xbone? Xbone probably over Ouya. What's my Steam account? My Steam account is Francis. That's my Steam. I meant GameCube controller adapter. Yeah, well, there's already third-party ones, so I think Nintendo wants to sell you the Wii U Pro controller, so I don't think Nintendo will actually make an official one. But yeah, you'll see third-party ones like you've seen. Atari 2600 is greater than the Xbox One. Oh my god. Maybe. We'll see. That's not a account that I want to use. Oh, thanks for adding me on my Steam account. I just see that. Just to let you guys know though, I don't play Steam much. Like I'll just play a game like that I like when Metal Gear Rising comes out, I'll play that on my Steam. I'll beat it like in the 5 or 6 hours, and then I won't play till the next game that comes out. That like single player game. So I don't play Steam much. Let's see here. What surprise series could Nintendo show in 2014? I really think in 2014 that Nintendo will bring back a classic franchise. And I think, surprise-wise, I'm not sure, but I think that it's going to be a classic franchise, but I just don't know what classic franchise it's going to be. I would hope for another, I would like another Punch-Out game, but that can be downloadable. But as far as like big, huge game, I'm not sure what classic franchise they'll bring back. Hopefully we get Nobuo Uematsu and we get Miss Walker's project, Sakaguchi's project. What do I think of Black Ball now and after debate? I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one. So if you guys want to hold up real quick on the questions. What do I think of Black Ball after the debate? I think Black Ball is a Nintendo fan. I respect some of his opinions more. I think he brought up a lot of good points. But at the same time, I think he also trolled a lot. But I think Black Bond is upset because Black Bond is a Nintendo fan, but he cares about graphics. He's a Nintendo fan, but he cares about graphics. And Black Bond cares about online gameplay. And Black Bond cares about third-party support. He cares about those things. And all he wants is Nintendo to have those things. I really think that's what he just wants. He wants Nintendo to have the best graphics. He wants Nintendo to have the best specs. And he wants Nintendo to have third-party support. So all he can do is just buy a Wii U or buy a Nintendo console. I think that's what Black Bond wants. And he's upset at the mistakes that Nintendo has made, or he's upset at the things that Nintendo has done so much to the point where he'll troll the holy hell out of Nintendo because he thinks that might make a difference, or he's just fed up. And that's honestly why Black Bond does what he does. And that's why I haven't blocked him, because he's just not a stupid troll that basically doesn't like Nintendo. And when they put out, games, that are good, that they won't play Nintendo games because it's Nintendo. Because there's trolls out there that don't like Nintendo, that just don't like their games. And they will troll them because of that. But Black Bond, really? Black Bond just wants perfection. He wants, in his mind, He's extremely flawed on the perception of perfection. It's extremely flawed, his ideals, but he just wants Nintendo to be the best at everything. I think. Now, I can't speak for Black Bond. So if Black Bond watches this, and he basically comes and says different things, I'm sorry, Black Bond. If that's, if Black Bond watches this later, Black Bond, if you're watching, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I think Black Bond just wants the best. Perfection is impossible. But perfection can only be capped at what the industry does. If the Wii U had more third-party support, so if the Wii U had more, all these games, like BioShock and all these games that were being announced for the Wii U, and the Wii U had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the Wii U had all the best specs, Black Bond would troll Nintendo. He wouldn't, because he'd be like, "Oh crap! I get these games. I get all of these games. I get my third-party games. Great, Nintendo's the best." You'll still have trolls, other people, who will troll Nintendo for their games. Even if Sony had a system that was doing well, you still have people that say, "Oh, Nintendo makes kiddie games. They're horrible. I don't like them. I'm not going to buy their system." Even if Nintendo had the best specs, you'll still have people do that. Black Bond trolls Nintendo because he hates the way Nintendo is went. He wants Nintendo to be better than Sony and Microsoft. I'm pretty sure that's why Black Bond trolls Nintendo the way he does. He wants Nintendo's games to all be online. He wants Nintendo's games to be considered the top and have all the features. The problem that Black Bond doesn't understand is that you can't do that with everything. You can't be the best at everything. No company is the best at everything. But in Black Bond's mind, he feels that other companies do things to where it's so much better than Nintendo that therefore he's going to troll the holy hell out of them. So, yeah, that's Black Bond. That's Black Bond's view, I think. Yeah, and I know, JC, and I know that Nintendo does it, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you guys that Black Bond wants Nintendo to be the best at everything. You know what I'm saying? Black Bond wants Nintendo to have the best graphics. Black Bond wants Nintendo to have all the third-party support. Black Bond wants Nintendo to have online games, an online service that is better than Sony and Microsoft. And I understand. Look, I understand. Shadow Kirby says it's like being a kid. You think you can be the best, but you really can't. And I understand. But that's why we have options and choices. And that's the thing that Black Bond needs to understand. Is that's why you can buy a PS4 and you can buy a Wii U. If you want the best graphics, you're going to have to get them from the PS4 or from a decked-out PC. The Wii U is more about fun. The Wii U is more about... the graphics are good on Wii U. Let's not get things twisted here. The graphics on Wii U are good. There's nothing wrong with the Wii U's graphics and the Wii U's graphics capability. Smash Bros. Is 1080p 60 frames per second and looks gorgeous. Bayonetta 2 looks awesome. Mario Kart 8. Holy crap. Did anybody expect Mario Kart 8 to look that good? There were people that were actually saying Mario Kart 8 is going to look like an HD version of Mario Kart Wii. No joke. If you go and if you look at the rumors of how people were saying, "Oh, Mario Kart, this is going to be an HD version of Mario Kart 7 or a Mario Kart on the Wii." Holy crap, were they wrong. Yes, Shadow Kirby, I'm serious. Try to find threads of people talking about the next Mario Kart game. There were people writing off Mario Kart and just saying it's not going to be a big upgrade, gameplay-wise and visually. It's going to be HD version of Mario Kart on the 3DS or on the Wii. That game looks better than PS4 games. I'm sorry. That game looks better than NAC. Personally, from what I've seen, that game looks just as good as some PS4 games. And I'm not even, like I said, I'm not trying to be a fanboy here, but you can't sit here and look at Mario Kart 8's screenshots and look at the video and say, that doesn't look as good as some PS4 games being released. You can't sit there and say that. I'm not saying that it's going to be better than every PS4 game. I'm not sitting here and saying that it's technically better than every PS4 game. All I'm saying is that just by looking at it, you can't sit here and compare that to NAC and say, oh yeah, Knack looks 10 times better. No, you can't. So, I mean, personally, me, I don't really care about graphics as much. I think graphics are important, but at the same time, I think in the HD era, I think graphics are good enough. And I think Nintendo's proved with their games that graphics are, all that they are. So, okay, so let's get back to the questions here. I'm going to answer questions for another 15 minutes or so. How's my conjunction with Critical Hit 64 going? It's going good. The only problem with Critical Hit 64 is that they don't make enough content. So I want to give a shout out to Critical Hit 64. They're awesome. But at the same time, like I've asked Brayden Cole to make more content, but he's very busy. He has a full-time job. He has, and he's also doing his band Aggression. I put up one of their songs on there, Street Sleeping, which is a really good song, by the way. Look up Street Sleeping by Critical Hit 64. Good song. But it's going good. Hopefully he gets putting out more content so we can do more cross-promotion stuff. But I mean, I love a Critical Hit 64, and I think Brayden Cole is a great guy. But yeah, he's just really busy. Okay. So questions, keep them coming. Let's go. Am I excited for Super Mario 3D World? Hell yeah, I'm excited for Super Mario 3D World. This game, love it. Got everything in it. Got absolutely everything. I aced it. I'm like a 6-star or whatever it is. I beat both worlds, the difficult world and the regular world, with Mario and Luigi. I beat the special end level that you get with Mario and Luigi. Absolutely love this game. Such a good game. Love it. Do you think there will be a second 3D Mario game this gen? Of course. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be another Mario game. They're going to make like a Mario Galaxy type game or a Mario 64 type game. They just need more time, and they didn't want to bring it out this year because they wanted to give Sonic Lost World all the attention that it can get as far as being the big 3D platforming game on the Wii U. Let's see here. Square Enix and Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to do a rage video on Square Enix. Probably on my next Playeressence video. Stay tuned. I'm going to rage on Square Enix, so we'll keep that under wraps. What's up with Konami and the relationship with Nintendo? Yeah, you know what? Pokemon Master Ricky, he kind of did a rage video or a rant video on Metal Gear Solid. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, Metal Gear Solid: The Legacy Collection absolutely ridiculously bombed in Japan. Like bombed in Japan. Like, it was horrible. The sales were not even 18,000 units. It got outsold by the retail version of New Super Luigi U. I mean, it was bad. They should have put the game on the Wii U, bringing in a new fan base. Let's see here. Do I prefer Melee or Smash Bros. Brawl? I think Melee is a better core fighting game, but I prefer Smash Bros. Brawl because I'm much better at Brawl than I am in Melee. I'm like tournament. I think I'm like Evo good at Smash Bros. Brawl. If Smash Bros. Brawl was ever to go to Evo, like official, I would enter the Evo competition and do that. That's how good I am. That's how good I think I am in Brawl. I've probably won about 15 Brawl tournaments. Back when I used to, like, when I was in college, I would do Brawl tournaments all the time in Fresno, and I won almost every single Brawl tournament I was in. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on the new Sonic Lost World? Sonic Lost World is awesome! Love Sonic Lost World. Love the list. Love the gameplay. Day one buy. Everybody, you guys better go out there and buy Sonic Lost World. Seriously. Third Sonic game. I have no clue about the third Sonic game. No clue. We'll see. Let's just focus on this Sonic game coming out. These two. Do I think there'll be a new Naruto game for the Wii U? That's interesting. I hope so. They can do some interesting things with that touchscreen with hand signs. Yeah, I know it is hilarious how they're putting Metal Gear Solid on the Xbox, but not the Wii U. But Kojima sold out. You know, Kojima sold out to Microsoft. They paid him. They paid him a large sum for Metal Gear Solid on the Xbox One. So it is what it is. I have no clue about the third Sonic game. Like I said, Unlimited Power. I'm sorry, I have no clue. I think it's going to be probably like a crossover racing game. I think so. Maybe. I know they said something like it might not be like that, but we'll see. Do you think Super Smash Bros. 4 should bring back the race and finish to replace Lucario? Oh, okay. I don't know. We'll see what they do with Mewtwo. I want to see Mewtwo back. I like Mewtwo. I think he's cool. Oh, thoughts on Game Freak's collaboration tease? Oh, yes. Did any of you guys play what's that game? Nobunaga's Ambition, the crossover title, Pokemon Conquest. I mean, it could be some type of it could be a sequel to that game. You know, it could definitely be a sequel to that game on the 3DS. So we'll have to see. I'm interested in anything Game Freak does. I'm interested. I liked Hollow Knight, which was a nice little new IP from them. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in their new IP. Why third parties hate Nintendo? Okay, stop your questions for a bit. This is going to go on a little bit longer. Stop your questions for a bit. Just for a little bit. Why do third parties hate Nintendo? Third parties hate Nintendo because Nintendo releases better games than them. Nintendo's fan base and Nintendo's games, they're seen as taking all the sales. Third-party companies look at other games like, you know, Assassin's Creed, and believe it or not, they look at games like Mass Effect, and they look at games that were out on the Wii U or that have come out on GameCube, and they didn't sell as much as other systems, and they've already built in a bias against Nintendo and against Nintendo's fans. So that's why third parties hate Nintendo. They feel that Nintendo's fans don't buy anything but Nintendo games. And there's evidence of this. You saw this with the Madden producer, who got all pissed off and was like, Nintendo's weaker than the Xbox 360. Nintendo, that all people buy is Mario and Zelda. People don't buy anything else than Mario and Zelda. You know, he raged on Twitter. So that's what developers and publishers think. It's BS. It's not true. But that's what they think. So yeah, that's why. Anyway, that's why they hate Nintendo. What can Nintendo do to? I mean, and even when Nintendo doesn't release games, so third parties have a third parties have a chance to put games out and sell, like Monster Hunter did. You know, they say, oh, well, there's not enough sales. I don't want to support them. It's like it's one excuse after another. If it's not Nintendo's fan base, it's sales. If it's not sales, it's this. It's always something. So, whatever. Okay. Questions resume. Do you think Game Freak should make a Pokemon game for the Wii U? Yes. Nintendo better make Game Freak make a Pokemon game for the Wii U. If Wii U sales don't pick up, if the Nintendo doesn't reach their sales forecast, which is I think like 9 million units by March 2014, if they don't reach that forecast by then, or if they're not close, they better announce a Pokemon game for the Wii U, and they better announce cross-compatibility with Pokemon X and Y, and they better announce some type of deal that if you bought Pokemon X and Y, or if you buy Pokemon X and Y, you get a discount on a Wii U, or they drop the price with the Wii U and with Pokemon. They better announce Pokemon for the Wii U if they don't reach those sales. They better. Let's see here. What else do we got? Which Pokemon will be your starter for X and Y? I think the Fire Pokemon will be the Fire Pokemon. I don't know what his name is, Bennekin, or I forgot what the fire Pokemon's name is, but that's going to be my starter. Let's see here. What would you say was the best third-party game so far? Third-party overall or just the Wii U? If you're talking about just the Wii U, the best third-party game is probably Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. That's what I would think the best third-party game is. Or if you're counting like Lego City Undercover as a third-party game, probably one of those two games would probably be the best ones. If Deus Ex or if Rayman Legends actually came out when they were supposed to come out, I would say one of those two games would be the best third-party game. But for right now, Lego City Undercover is actually really good. I got a chance to play a lot of that at Target the other day. I'm actually thinking about getting it. So Lego City Undercover and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate are actually pretty good. And, you know, despite Mass Effect being a GIMP, the multiplayer is actually somewhat fun here and there. So I have fun playing that. So, yep. Okay. Pokemon Stadium. Heck yeah. Do I think Nintendo should bring back Pokemon Stadium 3? Yeah. Or they should release like a single-player Pokemon game. They need to bring some type of Pokemon game to the Wii U. It has to happen. Which one of the first GBA games do you want to see on the Wii U Virtual Console? I'm not sure. I already have a bunch of GBA games on my 3DS. I already have Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion is my favorite GBA game. So, I don't know. Just to let you guys know, I wasn't a huge fan of GBA. I was not a huge fan of GBA. So, I had one and then I sold it. I played Metroid Fusion and then I sold it. I didn't play Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire right away. I played them later when I got my DS, but when I didn't play them on the GBA. So, yeah. And I'll tell you the reason why I wasn't as big as a fan as the GBA. Because when I had the Game Boy, my brother erased my data on my Pokemon Yellow, and I quit Pokemon. For a short stint after that, I quit Pokemon. And that bled into the Game Boy Advance era. And I was like, no Pokemon. My brother erased my data. I don't care anymore. You know, because I put like 1,000 hours into Pokemon Yellow, and my data got erased. So I didn't care. So, yeah, I wasn't huge into the GBA era. But I think there's a lot of good games on the GBA. Let's see here. Do you think EA ruined BioWare's games? Yes, EA ruined BioWare's games. They accelerated their process of making games. They release games when they're not finished. They release DLC day one. They hold back content. EA ruined BioWare's games. You saw that creeping in with Mass Effect 2, where there was like a lack of guns. And then they released guns as DLC. Like, Mass Effect 1 had a ton of different guns, you know? There was a ton of different guns, like in Mass Effect 1. And then in Mass Effect 2, like, they, like, completely nerfed your guns in that game. There were so few guns. And then, like, if you want extra guns, you have to buy the DLC packs. And you have to buy the extra packs to get guns, which is freaking crap. So, yeah, EA ruined the Mass Effect franchise for me. And EA ruined how good the games could have been. Mass Effect could have been the greatest franchise of all time, in my opinion, but now Mass Effect is not. Mass Effect is now just a really good franchise. But it could have been one of the most all-time, like, greatest franchises, you know, in gaming, but it's not now. Mass Effect 3, the endings and all that, and Mass Effect 2's GIMP, DLC all over the place, and same thing with 3, so, yeah. I'm trying to read through the articles here. What do you think about EA's decision about the $80 games? You know what? This isn't 100% confirmed, so I haven't reported this on my website. But all I gotta say is, when it is confirmed, and when I do feel like reporting it on my website, you guys already know what picture I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the EA sucks, and I'm gonna put the same picture. Whenever I talk about EA, it's the same picture. You guys notice that? It's the same EA sucks. No matter what it is. I can be talking about NCAA football. I can be talking about Mass Effect. I can be talking about anything. It's the same picture. EA sucks. Oh my god. let's see here. Yeah, they did ruin EA did ruin Dragon Age. Dragon Age 1 was cool, but Dragon Age 2 sucked balls. Yeah, EA did send me a copy of Mass Effect 3. They did. Looking through here. EA does suck. Oh, yeah, everybody's saying EA sucks. So do we have any more questions, guys? We're going to wrap it up here. You guys want to tell you guys a story? Story time? College stories? Oh, okay. Why is Nintendo my favorite company? Nintendo's my favorite company because when I was little, my dad, man, he bought so many Nintendo games for us. So from before I can even remember, like seriously, like my first memory of me living in this world was me playing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle on the NES with my brother. When we lived in Oregon, we had brown carpet. I remember, and I remember playing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle on the NES. And ever since, and my dad, he was really into us playing games because it was like a babysitting tool for him. I think it was like put this Nintendo there, pop in a game. And me and my brother would just all sit down, and my sisters, we would all just sit down and look and watch. I'd watch my brother play, or watch me play. I mean, so from the very beginning, I had a Nintendo from the NES, and I just love Nintendo's franchises. I've always been about gameplay. I'm an old school gamer, so graphics back then sucked, but we played for the gameplay, and that never changed. When I got an NES, when I got an N64, it was always about the gameplay, and Nintendo always made games that were so unique and so fun. I liked PlayStation games. I liked Halo on the Xbox. I like some Xbox games. I like Xbox 360 games. I have a lot of Xbox 360 games. But Nintendo always made those really unique games that were just fun. I love Mario. I love Zelda. I loved all the classic franchises since I was a kid. So I can't shake the things that I've loved since I was a kid. It's hard for me. So I just have so many fond memories and nostalgia. Plus, the games are top notch. So that's the reason why I like Nintendo so much. What are my thoughts on Dragon Age Inquisition? That it's probably going to suck, to be honest. Talk about Atlas. Atlas is awesome. Atlas has made. I love the Persona. I think Persona's cool. I like the Persona series. But what really made me a huge believer in Atlas is this game right here. This game right here is so awesome. I'm a 100% believer in Atlas now. Now, Atlas has always been awesome, but this game right here is really, it's worth the $50. I would tell you guys, please go out, get this game, take advantage of that Club Nintendo deal where you get $30 eShop credit if you live here in North America. Take advantage of that. Get this sweet special edition. Support Atlas because this game, Shin Megami Tensei 4, is so good. It's so good, and they're helping make Fire Emblem Awakening or Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei or Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. I can't get that right. So I love Atlas now. Like I said, I was like a backseat Atlas lover. I played some of their games, Persona. I thought they were cool, but what really sold me on Atlas is Shin Megami Tensei 4 for the 3DS. That game is awesome. It feels like a huge Final Fantasy type game, like a huge console game, but on a portable. It's just as big. There is so much stuff to do in that game. And I'll just say one more thing about Atlas. The voice acting in this game, the English voice acting is good in Shin Megami Tensei. Usually I cringe at English voice actors. Like if you play Code of Princess, oh my god, that is horrible voice acting of that English voice acting. But Shin Megami Tensei's voice acting is good. It is so good. So I'm a huge believer in Atlas. Like I said, I hope Nintendo buys Atlas, but I am not going to get my hopes up, and neither should any of you guys. Don't get your hopes up for Nintendo buying Atlas, because you're just going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen. Okay. Why do I like Angry Video Game Nerd? Because Angry Video Game Nerd is the same age as my brother. They are both the same age, and they talk about, like, he talks about things, my frustrations and my brother's frustrations in the games that he plays were the exact same things we were thinking in our head when we were watching this, but we never said it because we didn't cuss when we were kids. You know, we don't cuss. But those were the exact same things me and my brother were probably thinking in our head playing these games. So that's why I love the Angry Video Game Nerd, because he takes me back to when I was little, and it's basically like watching my brother play video games, you know, and what my brother was thinking. So that's the reason why I love Angry Video Game Nerd, because he's like my brother but white. My brother and him are actually very similar. If you've actually ever met the Angry Video Game Nerd, which I've actually, you know, I met him one time and I talked to him. He's actually not all crazy like that. He's actually very normal and cool and calm. You know, and my brother's also like that. But they're very similar, so that's why I like Angry Video Game Nerd a lot. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start streaming gameplay on Twitch more. I am. The problem is that there's just no games to stream right now, and I don't have a 3DS capture card to stream 3DS games, or I totally would stream 3DS games. But there just haven't been as many games, and none of you guys wanted to play Mass Effect 3 with me. None of you guys have Mass Effect 3, so I couldn't do that. So yeah, I'm going to be streaming games on Twitch. Pikmin 3, I'm going to be streaming that on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming The Wonderful 101. I'm going to probably be streaming like Watch Dogs and games like that. So you guys, sorry that I haven't been streaming as much, but I will get to that. I will get to that. So yeah. Yeah, there's a chance that Nintendo, do I think that there's any chance that Nintendo will purchase Atlas? There's a chance. There's a chance, but we'll see. Have you played Nights in the Nightmare? No, I've never played Nights in the Nightmare. What is your favorite RPG of all time? Oh my god, favorite RPG of all time. Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is my favorite RPG of all time. But I will say this. Fire Emblem Awakening is pretty freaking close. Fire Emblem Awakening is so close to Chrono Trigger, it's not even funny. And I'm not all the way through Shin Megami Tensei 4 yet, but Shin Megami Tensei 4 is creeping up my favorite game RPGs of all time list. But I'd probably say Chrono Trigger, followed by Fire Emblem, and then if you're going to count Mass Effect 1 and 2 combined, if you're going to count that, I would probably say Mass Effect 1 and 2 combined is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Final Fantasy VI is cool. It's just not, I think it's great. But man, Shin Megami Tensei 4, man, it is creeping up this list, dude. By the time I'm done, and I'll just say something, here's what's so great about Atlas. I don't want to do any spoilers, but just to let you guys know, this box cover has a deep-rooted involvement in the story. Just looking at this box cover, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm thinking, but this cover right here actually has something to do with the story. It really does, like, and the decisions and choices and stuff that you make. I think some of you guys can probably piece it together, but that's how awesome Atlas is, like with their storytelling. Even the box cover, once you start playing the game, you start noticing how this box cover plays into the game. So that is also a really cool, subtle hint by Atlas. So love that. Let's see. Where does Xenoblade Chronicles place with you? Xenoblade Chronicles is up there. Xenoblade Chronicles is definitely up there. The only problem with Xenoblade Chronicles, the only one issue that I have with Xenoblade Chronicles is that it looks like, I don't have a problem with graphics, trust me. I really don't. I just really would like them to make an HD version that's optimized for my TV, because I have a Samsung LED TV, and it looks good on there, but the problem is that there's just so many issues. I don't know if you guys are having the same issues with the HD TVs with that game, but it makes it to where it's kind of blurry in sections, and it's hard for me to see certain things. So, I mean, like I said, I still love the game, don't get me wrong. Xenoblade Chronicles is top 5 RPGs of all time. Definitely in my top 5. But just, like, sometimes the visual fidelity of the game isn't, my TV hinders it, you know what I'm saying? So, I really want Nintendo to release an HD version of Xenoblade Chronicles. I really do, just so my TV can handle it, you know, just so it's like, you know, where it's not all blurry and stuff, you know? So yeah. Have I played any of the previous? No. You don't need to play any of the previous Shin Megami Tensei games to like this one or to play this one. No, you don't. Actually, to be honest, I would actually say that it's actually a benefit not playing any of the other Shin Megami Tensei games because you go into it fresh. I mean, seriously, when you play this game, you can tell from the very beginning how epic it is. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, this is a massive RPG on a little game cart. Like, it is so awesome playing this game. I mean, you don't need to go into it fresh. You don't need to play the other Shin. You don't need to buy the soul hackers or anything. Go into it fresh. Explore the world. Go in there, fight the enemies. Recruit them on your team. You don't need to have any experience or know anything from the other games. It's cool. Just playing it the way it is, man. No problem. Yeah, and like I said, look, I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea about Shin Megami Tensei, about me and Xenoblade Chronicles. I love the game. I put 150 hours into it. I absolutely love it. But if they made like a 3DS version of that game, which I don't think they can, I don't think the 3DS can handle that type of game. But if they made a 3DS version of Xenoblade Chronicles where like the resolution is shrunk down to a smaller screen, it would be fine. Just because my TV, my LED TV is having problems. Whereas like Mario Galaxy, and other games don't have those issues. So that's my only problem. And it's hard for me to see things. It's hard for me to play the game when it's like blurry and stuff, So yeah, I just don't want anybody to think that I'm hating on Xenoblade Chronicles because of its graphics. Because no, Xenoblade Chronicles has the best battle system ever. And you guys know how excited I am for for X on the Wii U. You guys already know. So I think Xenoblade Chronicles has the best battle system in an RPG maybe ever. As far as battle system wise, Xenoblade Chronicles is right up there with Chrono Trigger's battle system, if not better. Xenoblade Chronicles battle system is freaking awesome. One of the best. Seriously, it's just the blurriness and some of the other things that really hindered some of the stuff of the game. Let's see what else here. Yeah, I've actually played Xenoblade Chronicles on my Wii U, and it does look a little bit better. Like, because on my Wii when I play it, there's green dots. I don't know if some of you guys get that on the LCD or LED TVs. Because like there's not enough high enough resolution or whatever the case may be, and there's like little dots that flicker on the Wii when you play it on certain HD TVs. When I play it on my Wii U, it gets rid of those dots, but it's still kind of blurry at times, and it's still not optimized for the Wii U. And it doesn't look as good as other games like Wii games, like for instance, like Smash Bros. Fantastic on Wii U. Fantastic. Smash Bros. Brawl looks great. So it is what it is. You have me sold. You know what? Hey, you guys let Nintendo know. Unlimited power. I'm not trying to sit here and campaign for me to get Nintendo. Still hasn't somewhat realized me as somebody that's going to help, spread the word of Nintendo and help people buy games. Because I know Unlimited Power just said, you have me sold, I'm going to buy it now. Just one thing, Unlimited Power, make sure you like RPGs. Remember, this is a game for RPG, like for super RPG fans. You have to grind in this game. You have to talk to lots of different people. There's a lot of different side quests. So if you don't like doing side quests, and if you don't like grinding and getting demons and doing like demon fusion and doing stuff like that, really complex mechanics in your RPGs, this game isn't for you. But if you love having all of that complexity in the game, Shin Megami Tensei 4 is for you. So yeah. Yeah, Ricard, you've been saying you need to get a 3DS for like 10 years now. Get a 3DS, man. Ricard, I know. The one thing about Ricard though, Ricard Giuliani, he wants to get a 3DS because there's so many awesome games on there, but the color, there's still not a color scheme that Ricard wants. And to be honest, that's true. That's true because let me go get something real quick. This is my 3DS. This is the best color that I can find was red. I didn't want a red 3DS. I want a black 3DS, or I wanted an all white 3DS. Probably a black 3DS just so it doesn't get dirty as easily. I wanted that, and I had to settle for this, but I had to get a 3DS XL because I had to play certain games like Mario Kart and stuff like that. I needed the bigger screen because it's so awesome. There's just such bigger screens, and this is better. The circle pad is better. The D-pad is better. Everything is just better. The buttons aren't they're not stuck in. They're just so much better. It's huge. These are better. The speaker quality is better. Everything is better with the 3DS XL. So it's just, and one thing to note, Fire Emblem Awakening and Shin Megami Tensei 4 are optimized for the 3DS XL. Nintendo didn't talk about that, but I emailed Nintendo. I emailed them about that because I compared them because I have a regular 3DS, and both of those games are optimized for the 3DS. So just to let you guys know, it does look, in my opinion, it looks a little bit sharper on the 3DS XL. Believe it or not, it actually looks a little bit better. Not that it matters. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. The only one thing it goes, it's so big. I hate Ricard Gianni, I hate you. Oh man. You know what? RPX says that they might price cut the 3DS. You know what? They're not going to price cut the 3DS, RPX. Let's talk about this a little bit. Because Nintendo is not price cutting the 3DS XL. It's selling. The 3DS XL is selling at $200 here in America. It is selling like crazy. The 3DS XL in Japan is actually somewhat expensive, and it is selling. The 3DS XL is selling in every region. There is no way they're going to price cut it. I mean, look, Titan, the Vita's dead. Look, the Vita's dead. I don't want to sit here and be the bearer of bad news, and I know people are saying like the Wii U's dead, and it might look like I'm being a hypocrite right here by saying that the Vita's dead, but the reason why the Vita is dead, the reason why is because Sony did not plan that system out good. People want to talk about Nintendo not planning the Wii U out good? No, the Wii U is planned good because the Wii U is actually good value. The Wii U, it's reverse compatible with the Wii. You can use previous gen peripherals and all that stuff like that. You can play Wii games. It's just a matter of getting the content out on there. There's just not a lot of games. The Vita is bad because the PSP is very popular. It's very popular in Europe, and it's very popular in Japan. There are people that have plenty of PSP games. The fact that you can't play your PSP games on the PS Vita is fail. The fact that they didn't bring over the Japanese the PS Vita exchange program where you can trade in or basically digitally register your PSP games and have them downloaded on your PS Vita is fail. Those are the two biggest fail options. When you bring out a new system like a portable, you need an instant backlog of games. You need it. The DS, the 3DS had that. The DS had that. You need a backlog of games. The Vita didn't have a backlog. And Sony is hell-bent on not supporting the Vita. They don't have the Japanese teams to support the Vita. Sony better thank God that Japanese developers are putting out some RPGs on the PS Vita. That's the only reason why that thing is selling somewhat well. It's selling horribly for a handheld. The Vita is selling horribly for a handheld in Japan. It's not selling good for a handheld. It should be selling at least, I would say, 25 to 40,000 units. I'd probably say maybe a little under, probably 20,000 units maybe a week. It's selling averaging like around 17,000, 15,000. Sometimes it even dips to 12,000 units a week, which is not good for a portable. And yeah, Sony is gambling on the PS4 to make money with the Vita, but that's another problem. Sony's popularity with their consoles are going down. The PS3 is nowhere near as popular as the PS4. The PS4 is not going to have as many Japanese developers developing for the system due to the cost of it, due to it being more like a PC. Japanese developers aren't necessarily the highest on PC technology and PC development. The fact that it's basically a PC is not great for Japanese developers. I think Japanese developers have no problem doing it. They can definitely code on PC, but I think Japanese developers rather use custom logic, you know what I'm saying? I think even some Japanese developers actually had no problem with the cell, because a lot of Japanese games run fine on the PS3. You know what I'm saying? Like, the big companies like Square Enix, or maybe like Metal Gear, Konami, they're going to develop on the PS4 and have a blast. You know what I'm saying? But guys like Atlas, I'm not so sure. You know what I'm saying? Guys that make smaller games with PS4, you know, I'm not so sure. Square Enix, yes, no problem. Final Fantasy, no problem. Metal Gear, no problem. The bigger guys, no problem. But smaller companies, they're going to go over to Wii U once those sales come up. And that's why I'm saying that it's not over for the Wii U yet. And anybody who's saying that the Wii U is dead is crap. It's just crap, because Nintendo's, as you can see with Pikmin 3, the sales are coming back. The sales are coming back, and they're going to definitely get there. But the PS Vita, you can already see that the PS Vita is getting smoked right now. On top of that, you still have Monster Hunter 4 in Japan. Monster Hunter 4 is going to boost the sales. I'm serious, dude. The 3DS might reach 100,000 units in a week when Monster Hunter 4 comes out. It might hit 100,000 units. It might. I know it's got up to like 60 to 70,000, even a little bit higher. It might hit 100,000 units for that week that Monster Hunter 4 comes out. Oh man. Yeah, Ricard, I'm going to read Ricard's just say Monster Hunter 4 is going to murder the Vita. Pokemon is going to dig the corpse and cement it and then use it as a fertilizer. Hey, Ricard, and you also forgot Legend of Zelda: The Link to the Past, which is really popular in Japan. Yeah. Oh, and what about Mario Party? That's also really popular in Japan. Oh, wait a minute. What about Mario Dream Team, which is also doing really well? It was released in Europe. That also made the top sales charts. What about, oh my gosh, there is so many games. There is so many games for the 3DS. It is over for any other handheld. Sony, the Vita, honestly, that might be Sony's last handheld because I think the graphics are good enough. I think the Vita, eventually, the Vita is going to be successful. I think in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and however long Sony wants to support the Vita, you know, I think they should just support it forever. The Vita should just be their handheld for a very long time because the graphics, the capabilities, the firmware, it's good enough. Sony doesn't need to come up with another handheld for, I would probably say, another 10 plus years. There's no need because people have already proved that graphics, when it comes to handheld, graphics don't matter as much. People like to play iPhone games. People like to play 3DS games. The Vita's graphics are good enough. Yeah, the Vita does mean like that, though. And I think the Vita is going to be successful overall. Yeah, because Japan's going to continue to support the Vita. Japan's going to continue to bring games out on there. You're going to see Final Fantasy on the Vita. You're going to see other RPGs on the Vita. And eventually, I'm going to get a Vita. And eventually, I think a lot of you guys are going to get a Vita, too, when the library is there. But I think it's going to be down the line when it's super cheap, like the PSP. You know? Exactly. They need to drop the price of the memory cards. That's an issue. But they will. I think I'll get a Vita like 6 years from now. I'll buy a Vita, you know, or like 5 years from now. I'll buy a Vita. Eventually, we're all going to get one when it's like $99 or when it's like $120. We're all going to get a Vita because we're gonna want to see those RPGs on there that's going to be released. But for right now, all the RPGs, all the good games are coming to 3DS. So for right now, you need a 3DS, you know. So, Ricard, I highly doubt I'll get a Vita. Well, let more software come out for it, Ricard. Like, let more software come out for it. I mean, I don't know. If you're an RPG guy, eventually you're going to want to get a Vita. I think all RPG fans are eventually going to want to get a Vita, you know, eventually. So, and I know. How many times can I play Persona 4 Golden? Yeah, and like I said, I know Vita doesn't look too intense right now. I'm not going to buy a Vita anytime soon. Heck no. Sony doesn't even support their own system. Sony said, Hey, look, when you get a PS4, buy a Vita as a controller. I'll pass. I already got something that can do that. This right here can do with the Vita. I don't need to buy a Vita to get off TV play. That's stupid. I already got a system that does that. You know? So, no. That's what Sony needs to support their handheld. I want to see God of War. I want to see, Gran Turismo. I want to see all of their franchises. I want to see Infamous. Why isn't there Infamous on Vita yet? Why haven't they franchised that, or why haven't they contracted that game out? Infamous, because I actually like Infamous. They need to have Infamous on the Vita. They need to have, the games that I need to see Metal Gear, I need to see Infamous, I need to see Gran Turismo, I need to see God of War, I need to see, and at least 7 to 8, I need to see Final Fantasy, and at least 7 to 8 more RPG, like AAA RPGs, like Nintendo has, with Pokemon, with Shin Megami, with Fire Emblem, with Dream Team, with all those games that they have on there, even like the other games, like Soul Hackers. I even brought Code of Princess, that's not very good, but it's still another RPG. Like, they need to have at least 7 to 8 quality RPGs, plus all of those games for me to ever buy a Vita. And that's not going to be for like 6 years from now, because they don't have, they only have Persona. Right now, the only quality RPG, they have 2 quality RPGs, which is Soul Sacrifice and Persona. That's all they got. And then the rest is just Japanese RPGs that aren't even out in America. Phantasy Star Online needs to be localized. I like Phantasy Star Online. I think that game's awesome. So, eventually I'll get a Vita, but when it's like $99. I'll buy a Vita when it's $99. So, yeah. Yeah, Persona is, dude, I agree. Persona 4 is awesome. Yeah, that's true. They need Ratchet and Clank. They need Jak and Daxter. They need a lot of games on there, and they don't have them. They're making all the games for the PS3 and PS4. They're not making games on the PS Vita. Their PS Vita's on the back burner, and I think Sony knows that. Sony knows that this is probably their last system for a very long time. So right now they're just focusing on the PS4, and eventually they'll get back to Vita development. But for right now, that's why they haven't dropped the price. Because they're like, why drop the price when we don't even care? The only reason that they dropped the price in was Japan, because Japan actually showed interest in the Vita. In America, the Vita is selling so bad. Like, the Western media doesn't want to report on it, but in America, the Vita is selling horrible. We're talking less than 2,000 units. You know what I'm saying? A month. The Vita is tanking in America. Now in Europe and in Japan, much better sales for the Vita. But in America, the sales are bad. They're not going to stop manufacturing the Vita. No, because it's selling in Japan. The Vita sells anywhere from 15,000 to 20,000 units in Japan every single week. There's no reason to stop manufacturing it. And in Europe, the Vita sells, I think like 7,000 units a week or something along that lines. It sells around 7,000 units a week in Europe. So that's actually pretty good. So there's no reason to stop producing it right now. Yeah, seriously, you can't go on N4G and say that the Vita is doomed anymore. You can't. You'll get. They won't approve the article. They won't approve it. But yeah, the Vita is. It's not dead because it's going to have a very long life. Like the name, it's going to be around for. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see another PlayStation handheld for like the. I'd probably say like 2023. 2025. It's going to be a long time before another handheld comes up because they don't need it. Because the graphics are good enough, the capabilities are good enough, and the Vita is 100% future-proof. It's 100% future-proof. It's a slick handheld. But I will say the one problem that I have with the Vita is there's not dual screens. And look, I'm not trying to be a fanboy with the whole dual screen thing, or whatever, but for RPGs, 2 screens is good. Every single RPG utilizes, this one included, Fire Emblem included, they utilize that dual screen format because you can have displays for stats, switching items, all that stuff on the sub screen, and then the main screen for the action. That helps. Fire Emblem Awakening, you can check out all your stats without covering up the main screen. You can look through everything, page through stuff, go through information, and that's another reason why I think the Wii U is a perfect place for RPGs as well, which I hopefully developers realize that. But the fact that there's not 2 screens on the Vita is very unappealing. Like, honestly, it's very unappealing for RPGs because I think Nintendo really innovated with that. So that's another big pet peeve that I have with the Vita is like I really wish that they made, and I know it'd be completely ripping off Nintendo, but they need 2 screens. Like they need 2 screens for RPGs for sure. Okay, I want to read a comment here. Shadow Kirby says, and Francis is saying that the PlayStation is becoming less popular and that the Vita isn't selling that well. I want to see how the PS4 does because Sega bashed Nintendo a lot in the past. The Genesis was their last success. Sony will end up like Sega, but they were experiencing the same then. Popularity went down with Sony. It's just a lot slower. That's true. Well, Sony, the difference with Sega made so many bad mistakes and so many problems where they doomed themselves, you know, and of course, like you said, the popularity went down. But Sony gave away their popularity. Sony, and I'll tell you guys something, and we'll wrap it up with this, but Sony decided, the minute that Sony decided that Microsoft was the enemy instead of Nintendo, the minute that Sony stopped putting priority into RPGs, getting RPGs, you know what I'm saying, and being the system for RPGs, and getting the games that everybody can play, kids, parents, like Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper, and all of those games like that, which sold actually really well on the PS2, the minute that Sony decided that we don't want to be kiddie and compete against Nintendo's mascots, and we're going to be hardcore and make shooters, you know, because look at the drastic change that Sony had from the PS2. PS2, it was all about Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, what else did they have? They had all those, Spyro, PS1 was Spyro, and even like Blasto, and a lot of the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, the minute that Sony decided that they weren't going to compete in that area, you know what I'm saying? And from a first-party development studio, switch over to make shooters and make, you know what I'm saying, like games like MAG and games like Killzone and games like Resistance, you know what I'm saying? Games like Infamous, Uncharted, No Crash Bandicoot, you know, things like that. The minute that Sony decided to do that, that's when they lost. That's when Sony lost. And the minute they decided to, and that decision to move over to rival the Xbox and to rival like the brocore shooter guys, that's what made Sony do the PS3, want to make the PS3 the most powerful system. Because for games like that, what do people care about? Graphics. You need to have graphics for first-person shooters because the gameplay sucks, so people need something else to look at. You know what I'm saying? And graphics have to be really good. So that's why Sony decided to do the cell processor. That's why Sony decided that graphics were the most important. That's why I decided they need to have the most expensive system because we need it for our shooters. And that's why games like Ratchet and Clank took a backseat. That's why Sly Cooper, holy crap, they gave us one Sly Cooper game in like the 7th year of the PlayStation 3. There was like 3 Sly Cooper games on the PS2. Where's Jak and Daxter? Dead Branch. We got an HD collection and Heroes on the Move. Really? PlayStation All-Stars? Where's Jak and Daxter? Where's Sly Cooper? Where's Ratchet and Clank? Where's Spyro? Where's Crash Bandicoot? Where are all the games that sold millions and cost nowhere near as much to produce as MAG and Killzone and Resistance? Where are those games? They decided that those games aren't cool. Those games aren't what the core fans want. Those games, those are Nintendo. Those are kiddie. We're going to put that on the back burner, and we're going to do shooters. And they failed. They lost. Because from that point on, from I think 2007 and on, that was the last time Sony made any significant sales or any significant profit in their gaming division. Now, they hide behind their other electronics, you know what I'm saying? But the PS3, the whole life of the PS3, Sony made no money. They lost money. They were in the negative. And they barely made a profit this past physical year because they sold off buildings and stuff like that. That was the work. And that's why Ken Kutaragi left. That's why Ken Kutaragi got ousted. It was a bad decision. But now they can't go back. They can't. The PSP Go was also a problem too. They can't go back. They can't go back because now the PlayStation fan base is brocore. Is brocore / JRPGs for the Japanese. It's brocore in America. They can't go back. I bet you anything Sony, if you can offer Sony like, hey, you can go back to the PS2 days where your strongest franchises were Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper and all of those games and your fans would love it, Sony would be like, okay, let's do it. Sony's stuck with making shooters and stuck with making realistic, gritty type games. They're stuck with it. And you know what? In this next generation, if Sony doesn't dominate with this PS4, with the PSP being somewhat of a flop, pretty much a flop, if Sony doesn't dominate America with this PS4 and dominate Europe, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. They're in big trouble. So people like to say that Nintendo's in trouble. Nintendo has $11 billion in the bank. Sony's gaming division, well, Sony overall as a company is doing okay, but Sony's gaming division, there's a point to where the shareholders are going to be like, okay, this gaming division is screwing everything up, screwing everything else, like screwing things up for the whole company. This gaming division needs to go. There's going to be a time. If Sony doesn't turn things around with this PS4, if this PS4 doesn't dominate America and dominate Japan and dominate Europe, if the Xbox One takes market share from it, and if the Wii U can take market share, and the PS4 isn't as popular and they don't sell, holy crap, Sony's in trouble because the PS Vita is not doing what it's doing, and they wasted money on the PSP Go, and Sony's first-party software doesn't sell like Nintendo's first-party software. So they're not going to be making as much money off of software sales as either. So we will see. We will definitely see, because Nintendo still makes profit. Nintendo still, they still have the 3DS, which is, if anything, if the Wii U doesn't sell as good, at least you know that the 3DS is going to probably destroy everything in its path. So, yep, that's that. So, once again, thank you guys for coming to the 1000K live stream of Playeressence Cross Nintendo. Once again, I want to thank everybody for showing up. We ran for a solid 2 hours there. It was really fun, guys. I had a lot of fun broadcasting this to you guys. Live Playeressence. We're going to do more. Thanks, Shadow Kirby. I'm glad that it made your night. Just to let you guys know, real quick thing on the Xbox One. The Xbox One is in trouble. The Xbox One is in it. You guys already know how I feel about the Xbox One, but the Xbox One is in big trouble. It will sell in America because Americans are somewhat stupid. It'll sell in America, but that system's in trouble. I'll just say that right now. It's not selling anything in Japan. It's dead in Japan, and in Europe, it's gonna fail to the PS4. So the Xbox One is in trouble. But yeah, I will be doing more live streams in the future. Let me know. I like to do live streams like when it's something special. I think I'm going to be doing more streaming as far as Twitch TV goes with Pikmin 3. And like I said, I'm sorry that I haven't been doing as much streaming, but I didn't want to stream like Zombie U or stream like, like games that are, or like Ninja Gaiden and games that are already old. Like I just like to do like videos on those games, just regular videos you guys can watch. Now that we're actually getting more content, now that Pikmin's coming, the Wonderful 101's coming, Watch Dogs, Splinter Cell, so many games. Rayman. Now I'm going to be doing live streams because now that there's actually the content for me to stream, and I'm so done with the PS3 and 360. I want to get my PS4, and I'm ready for next gen. You know what I'm saying? Like Wii U next gen. I'm ready to play my Wii U. I'm ready to play my 3DS. I'm ready to play like my PS4 when I get my PS4 at some point. I'm ready to play. I don't want to play the PS3 and 360 anymore. I'm sorry. I don't want to say I'm stuck up or anything like that, but I'm tired of seeing the interface for the 360. Like I tried to boot up Skyrim the other day. I'm tired of seeing the interface for the 360. I'm tired of seeing the interface for the PS3. I disconnected those systems and I put them on. Like I'm just gonna play 3DS. Like I'm gonna play 3DS games from now on because 3DS games, not only are they cheaper than Xbox 360 and PS3 games, but they're more convenient for me for my schedule. And I can put them with my daughter. Like my daughter, she can like watch me. She likes to watch me play. When I have them, and so we can lie down and play the game. So I'm playing next gen. I'm ready for 3DS. I'm ready for Wii U, and I'm ready for PS4. I don't want to play PS3, 360 anymore. I'm done. Exactly. Ichigo, Wii U, next gen. Heck yeah. Miiverse, you know what I'm saying? Off TV play. These are next gen features. These are next gen, man. Like the games that I've been playing, like Wii U is next gen. Wii U is next gen. I don't care what anybody says. The graphics are good enough. We're gonna get those good games. So I'm about next gen now. So I'm ready for the Wii U. The Wii U. Yeah, and that's another problem I have with the Xbox 360. The ads. You know, like I pay for gold membership and there's ads on my dashboard. Really? I'm not. You guys are trying to monetize me on the dashboard. Look, I run a website. I know about ads. They're making every time you boot up that Xbox 360. Microsoft is making a buck. Microsoft is making some money off of you. Every time you boot up the Xbox 360, anytime you accidentally click on that ad, Microsoft makes money. I'm not giving Microsoft any of my money anymore. And I'm definitely not booting up my Xbox 360 and giving them ad revenue. I run a website. I know how ad revenue works. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving them my ad revenue. I'm not giving them my money. I don't like Microsoft. I'll be honest. I just don't like them. I'm not giving them my money anymore. So I disconnected my Xbox 360. I'm done playing Xbox 360. It's time for next gen. So to me, 3DS, next gen portable, Wii U, next gen system. I'm ready for next gen. And PS4, I'm ready for that, man. I'm ready for Infamous Second Son. I'll probably get a PS4 around when Infamous Second Son comes out. So stay tuned. And that'll be for 2014. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, and another problem. I'm going to be offline. I'm not paying for PlayStation Plus. I mean, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying to play my games online. That's why I want online games to come to Wii U. That's why I'm getting Watch Dogs on the Wii U and not PS4. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll probably rent Assassin's Creed on the Wii U, not PS4, because I can play games online for free. That's another thing that's, to me, the best thing about the Wii U. Online gameplay for free. Watch Dogs, I'll be able to hack all of you guys when you guys play Watch Dogs on Wii U for free. You know what I'm saying? PS4 and Xbox One, you gotta pay for multiplayer. And I'm done with the PS3 and Xbox 360, you know? So that's why I'm not getting, that's the reason, that's why you guys know I'm not getting Tales of Xillia. I'm done with the PS3. That's why I'm not getting Tales of Xillia. So I'm playing 3DS RPGs instead. Oh yeah, Splinter Cell Spider versus Merc. Oh, you're gonna hack me, Titan? You're gonna hack me? All right, we'll see. We'll see what Watch Dogs. We'll see who gets hacked. Nice. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming to the live stream. I really appreciate it. All of you guys are awesome. Continue to come to playeressence.com for all your news, reviews, shares, tips, and tricks. You guys know how the deal goes. Like us on Facebook, all that good stuff. Go out there, buy Shin Megami Tensei, and look, I didn't finish my thought earlier. But if you guys can email Nintendo and tell them how awesome Player Essence is, and tell them how I've convinced you guys to buy first-party Nintendo games, you know what I'm saying? Let them know, because Nintendo still doesn't account for me at all. Like I'm not on the radar right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though I have the data to back up me being on the radar, they don't see me as like Go Nintendo, or they don't see me as like, you know, Wii U Daily or other websites that get certain benefits for, you know, promoting Nintendo. Like what's that one guy? Andre the Black Nerd. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't see me as like, they just see me as a random website. So make sure you let them know. If you guys email Nintendo, make sure you let them know that Playeressence.com is 100% behind Nintendo and 100% behind first-party games like Shin Megami Tensei, convincing people to buy them. So let them know that, just so they can get me on there, and that's going to lead to better things for you guys, because hopefully I'll get games, you know what I'm saying, early, and I'll be able to let you guys know about the game and let you guys know about what's going on. So I don't want to beg for you guys to, I'm not sitting here and telling you guys to spam Nintendo or anything like that, because eventually I'll be on the list. Just right now, since I'm not like a Nintendo focused, like my name's not like Go Nintendo, or my name's not, you know, Wii U Daily. They don't see me that way, even though I have the traffic to be that way. So they don't see me that way. So hopefully Nintendo sees me that way soon, so I can get more games quicker out to you guys. All right. So that wraps it up here. I hear my daughter crying, so I'm going to go see what I can do to take care of that. The website, make sure you guys check out Playeressence. I have a bunch of news articles that are actually even going up right now So the website will be updated on Saturday and on Sunday. There will be updates on the website. So definitely check out Playeressence.com now all the way through. I've got articles going up. So check that out. All right, then, guys. We will see you guys later. Peace.